Hi everyone, welcome back to the part 2 of our simple vault smart contract. And in this part, we are going to test our smart contract rigorously. And just recap in the previous part what we have built. We initialized our Foundry project. We also installed OpenJPlin libraries in our simple vault smart contract project, and we built this ERC-4626 smart contract where we initialize constructor here, and we have function. We implemented some of the functionalities like total asset, deposit, mint function. We also have withdraw function. We have redeem function. We have set management fee function here. For in our simple vault smart contract, we have also emergency withdraw and get alt info. So in this part, we are going to test. So let's start testing our smart contract. For that, we need to create an ERC-20 smart contract. So let's go ahead and let's create a new directory inside the text, and let's name it mock ERC, and inside that let's create a basic ERC-20 smart contract. So for that, let's pragma license identifier MIT, and let's go ahead and 0.8.20, and let's import ERC-20 smart contract from import ERC-20 from OpenJPlin contract slash token slash ERC20 dot sol. There we go. And now let's create a contract mock ERC20 is copied from here and not here, actually here, and there we go. And let's initialize the constructor here 20, and the constructor takes two parameter, string, memory, the name of our token, and the symbol of our token. And ERC20, let's pass here the name and the symbol. Name and the symbol. There we go. And let's create a function here. Function mint, which takes address of the 2 and the not Tom. It's 2 actually. And the amount int 256. How much amount to be mint? Let's make it external, and inside that let's call the mint function, which is coming from our OpenJPlin library, and pass to and amount. Now we will need this contract for the testing purposes. So now let's go ahead and create a new file. Let's name it simple alt test dot. Let's name it simple alt test dot t dot sol. There we go. And I think we created this inside the mock. We need to create, let's cut this and paste it here. Now we good to go. Now let's copy this from here, the same thing, and paste it here. Let's import paste from our standard library, and also we need to import simple vault. We also need this, the contract we created, import mock RC from slash mock dot 20 dot sol. We also need to import IERC20, import, which is the interface, IERC OpenJPlin contracts slash token 20 and IERC. What are the errors? These are just CS code errors, so don't worry about this, it will go away. And let's see what is, yeah, you can see these errors are gone. Our contracts are compiling successfully. So let's declare some variables here and some events, and let's set up our function. So first we will declare some state variables here. We will deploy, and we will declare some events. After that we will set up function, which is our main function. I explained you a couple of times why this is important. And after that we will test our smart contract rigorously. So let's go ahead, let's start writing test. We imported our whatever we need for testing purposes. So now let's start writing contract simple alt test is test, and hang scope file it's suggesting us, but we are going to do this differently. So let's declare first simple or, and let's make it public, and let's declare it as an alt, and we also need to declare the mock ERC-20 public as an asset. Now let's go ahead and declare three addresses. So address of the address, public address, let's say 1, and same go with here. I think address, copy paste address of the 2 and address of the 3. Let's say 2 and let's say 3. There we go. Let's format this. Why it is accepted identifier, but yeah, we need to make it owner, and owner, and we also need to make it as an, let's say user 1 is equal to, and user 2 is equal to address 3, and there we go. We're done with this. Let's declare some constant variables here. So first you int to constant, and say, let's say initial balance is equal to, let's say 1000 E18, right? And let's say management fee is 2%. For that, let's declare E1T256 public constant management fee is equal to, let's say 2%, which is 200. Now let's go ahead and let's set up our function. But before setting up, let's declare some events here which we will event while testing. So let's declare this deposit and withdraw events. I'm not going to show you all the tests, but because if I write more tests here, I will also, this part of video will be so long, so I will write some couple of tests, and rest of the test you have to write by yourself. But I am going to give you GitHub repository in this video description, so you can follow this test and you can test every single functionality whatever you want. So let's declare first events here, and let's event first deposit, and it will take address of the caller, and it will take also address of the owner. It will take assets as an event 256 and the shares. Thanks to Copilot for suggesting us. And for withdraw, address of the caller, receiver, owner, assets, and shares. That's it. Let's set up our main function. Setup. Let's write our main function here. Function set up, and as you know, we always need to make it public. And let's first deploy our mock ERC-20 token. So let's name it asset, which we declared here, is equal to new mock ERC-20, and inside that, not initial balance, we need to pass. Let's name it, because in the constructor, if you remember, we are taking two parameters. So let's name it mock token, and symbol is OCK. That's it. And now let's go ahead and let's deploy the alt. So for that, we are going to use this vm.bank, and inside that we need to pass owner, which is the address. Now let's initialize our alt variable here. What is this here? Wrong argument argument given but expected to. Actually, we have given two arguments here, but maybe this is the VS Code error and it's gone. Now let's go ahead and new simple vault, and inside that we have to pass ERC-20, and inside that address of the asset. Now let's go ahead, and we also need to pass alt. We also need to pass, let's say, fee mock, and the another argument is management fee. Thanks to Copilot for suggesting us, and we forgot to add this here. Now let's mint token to users. So how you can do this? We need to asset dot mint function, and inside that, let's say we declared user 1 and the initial balance. Same go with here, asset dot user 2 and the initial balance. Now let's approve alt to spend some tokens. For that, we are going to use this vm.frank, and inside that we need to pass user. Now let's go ahead and let's approve asset dot approve, and we need to pass two arguments here, two values here, the address of the, this is the right, and the initial, not the initial balance actually here, the type. Let's go ahead, and I hope many of you not familiar with this type uint 256 dot max. There we go. Format the document, and what are the errors here? Line 5. Actually, these are the VS Code error. Line 31. Expected this but got this. Maybe this is the VS Code error. It will go away. Don't worry. Now let's user. Actually, we approve for it for the user one, and now let's pm dot, and let's go for user 2, and the same go here. Let's copy this from here, paste it here, and there we go. Let's format the documents. By the way, if you want to format all the document, you can run this forge.fmt, and it will format automatically entire of your document or the entire code. So we just set up our function. Now let's test first our test initial state. How you can do this? For that, let's test our initial state. If you go here, we have the initial test here. I think, yeah. So let's go back. Let's first test our initial test. Test initial test. Let's make it public. Add this here. Forgot to add. And now let's add assert equal inside the left side dot vault dot asset and the address of the asset, and that's it. Now what is its warning? Let's make it view. Let's add assert equal left side the alt name, and on the right hand side what we named it mock. There we go. There's something wrong here. It is the VS Code error. Same with symbol, and let's format it again. We have vmock and vault dot decimals here, and inside the decimals we need to pass here 18, and let's say total assets which is 0, total supply which is 0. So let's assert equal, and the left hand side vault dot total assets which is, and the right hand side we need to pass 0 if this is true, and this is false, and the left hand side we need to pass alt dot total supply which is, let's say 0, and we need to pass also management fee which is the management fee, also alt dot owner. So assert equal alt owner, we need to pass the owner here. There we go. Let's format this, and now let's test our deposit function here. If you go here, we have deposit. Let's say it is working correctly or not. For that, let's write a function test deposit, and let's make it public. And now let's take a local variable here amount, and let's take it an 100 and E80. Now let's go ahead and let's prank the user pm dot prank, and inside that let's pass user 1, and there we go. Now let's take a variable here uint2, which we are going to take vault dot deposit, and which takes two parameters or the two arguments, deposit amount and deposit receiver, let's say user 1. Right, now let's assert equal. On the left hand side, let's pass this shares, and on the right hand side we need to pass the deposit amount, that is 1:1 ratio for the deposit. Now let's assert equal, copy this from here, assert equal, and let's say alt dot balance of user 1, and on the right hand side we need to pass the deposit amount. Let's copy this from here. Let's again assert equal, and inside that let's pass total assets and deposit amount assert equal total supply the deposit amount, and now let's again assert equal on the left hand side asset dot balance of the one, and on the right hand side we need to minus initial balance minus deposit amount. That's it. Let's go ahead and let's run Forge test, and one test is fast and one is failed. What is the reason? Skipped. You can run here Forge test dash vvvvv, and you can see why it is failing. So in the traces you can see why it is failing, and you can fix this, and I'm not going to, this is kind of assignment for you, and I'm going to give you all the right test in the inside this video description. So that's it. You can find out why it is facing. This is how you have to test. To go to test, and you can run this forge dash vvv 4v 5v, and you can see why it is failing. So I will give you all the source code which we will write. I will write more test here. If I write more test here, this video will be so long. So this is how you have to test. I also, you can check out my previous videos, and in these videos I also showed you how I introduced some of the advanced Foundry cheat codes, and how you can test. So with that I am wrapping this tutorial, and I will see you in the next video, where we next part of this tutorial, where I will show you how I will show you all the test, comprehensive test, all the test. Also, I will show you how you can deploy this. I will show you the deployment flow of this smart contract, this project, and how we can deploy it on Rootstock test network. With that, I am wrapping this video, and I will see you in next one.